Welcome back to English Compass. You know the feeling. You want to say something in English, you have the idea, you know the main words. But before your mouth opens, your mind starts editing. You check the tense. You search for a more precise word. You worry about prepositions. You replay how it might sound. And then you stay quiet. You smile. You nod. You let the moment pass. Later, you think, if I had just said it, it would have been fine. But the moment is gone. This is not a language problem. This is a perfectionism trap. And it is silently keeping millions of learners stuck in silence. For years, I believed that English had to be flawless before it was worth speaking. I treated every sentence like a final exam. I deleted voice recordings. I avoided conversations. I told myself, I will speak when I am ready. But readiness never came. Because perfectionism does not prepare you for fluency. It prepares you for hesitation. Then I discovered a simple, powerful idea. Good enough English is better than perfect silence. Today, I will share that shift with you. I will explain why perfectionism feels safe but actually blocks progress. I will show you how to embrace functional, clear, good enough communication. And I will give you a daily framework to practice it without fear. Before we begin, take a slow breath. Place your hand over your heart. Say this out loud. I do not need perfect English to be understood. I need clear English. I will speak. Good. Let's walk out of the trap together. The weight of perfect English. Let me tell you a true story. 3 years ago, I joined an online speaking group. It was my first time. I prepared for 2 days. I wrote down answers to possible questions. I practiced pronunciation in the mirror. I memorized 3 perfect sentences about my job, my hobbies, and my goals. The session started. The host asked a simple question. What's something you're proud of lately? My brain went blank, not because I lacked ideas, because I lacked a flawless sentence. I searched for the exact phrase. I worried about the article. I debated between I recently finished and I have recently completed. 5 seconds passed. 10. The host gently moved to the next person. I typed a long, careful answer in the chat, but my voice stayed silent. I left the call feeling exhausted, not from speaking, from not speaking, from carrying the invisible weight of perfection. Why does perfectionism hurt language learners so deeply? Because it confuses accuracy with communication. In writing, accuracy matters. In exams, precision is rewarded. But in real conversation, clarity is king. Native speakers do not speak perfectly. They use filler words. They restart sentences. They say, wait, let me explain that again. They prioritize getting the message across over grammatical elegance. Perfectionism tells you, if you cannot say it right, do not say it at all. Reality says, if you say it clearly, even with mistakes, people will understand you. When you chase perfection, you create 3 hidden costs. First, cognitive overload. Your brain is busy editing instead of expressing. You use mental energy for self-correction instead of connection. Second, communication paralysis. You wait for the perfect moment. You avoid practice. You stay silent. Silence does not improve fluency. It preserves fear. Third, emotional exhaustion. Every mistake feels like failure. Every hesitation feels like weakness. Language learning becomes stressful, not joyful. I remember recording a short voice memo to practice. I spoke for 30 seconds. Then I listened back. I counted 3 small errors. I deleted it. I recorded again. Deleted again. After 20 minutes, I had 0 recordings, 0 progress, just frustration. That night, I asked myself a hard question. Am I practicing English or am I practicing perfection? The answer changed everything. Vocabulary in context. Listen to these 4 phrases. They will frame today's discussion. Perfectionism trap, the belief that mistakes are unacceptable, leading to hesitation or silence. Cognitive overload, using too much mental energy on self-editing instead of communicating. Communication paralysis, staying quiet because you fear imperfection. Functional clarity, being understood clearly even with minor errors. Repeat after me. Perfectionism, trap. Cognitive overload, communication paralysis. Functional clarity. Keep these in mind. They explain why you feel tired after English practice, even when you barely spoke. Grammar focus, past continuous versus simple past for narrative. Notice how I describe past events. I was recording a voice memo when I noticed 3 errors. Past continuous for background action. I deleted it immediately. Simple past for completed action. I spent 20 minutes trying to get it right. Simple past for duration. Plus result. Repeat after me. I was preparing answers when the meeting started. I practiced the sentence, but I changed it halfway. I waited for the perfect moment, and I never spoke. Good. You are practicing natural storytelling structure. The good enough mindset shift. What does good enough actually mean? It does not mean careless. It does not mean lazy. It means functionally clear. It means your message arrives. It means the listener understands your idea. It means you prioritize connection over correction. The shift from perfection to good enough is not about lowering your standards. It is about changing your priority. Instead of asking, is this grammatically flawless? You ask, is this understandable? Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, you create clear communication. I learned this through a small everyday moment. I was at a cafe. The barista asked, would you like that hot or iced? I was thinking about a meeting. I said, hot, please, and maybe extra milk. It was not elegant. I missed the article. I used maybe instead of with. But the barista nodded, made my drink, and handed it to me with a smile. The exchange took 4 seconds. It worked perfectly. That moment taught me something crucial. Real-world English is not tested. It is used. In tests, errors cost points. In life, errors cost nothing if the message lands. People do not grade your prepositions. They listen for your meaning. I began practicing a new mental rule. The first draft principle. When you write a letter, you do not expect the first version to be perfect. You write it messy. You fix it later. Speaking is the same. Your first spoken sentence is a draft. It is not final. It is not graded. It is a starting point. You can refine it in conversation. You can say, actually, let me rephrase that. You can adjust. You can grow. But you cannot fix silence. I also realized that perfectionism steals your mental bandwidth. Bandwidth is your brain's available space for thinking, listening, and responding. When you spend 70% of your bandwidth on self-editing, you only have 30% left for actual communication. When you accept good enough, you free up that space. You listen better, you react faster, you speak more naturally. Interactive practice from perfect to functional. Pause the video. I will give you a perfect but stiff sentence. Then I will give you a good enough but natural version. Repeat both. Feel the difference in effort and flow. Stiff. I am of the opinion that it would be beneficial to commence the project at an earlier date. Natural. I think we should start the project sooner. It would help us avoid delays. Stiff. I apologize, but I am unable to recall the precise terminology at this moment. Natural. Sorry, I don't remember the exact word right now. Let me explain it another way. Again, clear, relaxed. I think we should start the project sooner. It would help us avoid delays. Sorry, I don't remember the exact word right now. Let me explain it another way. Good. You are training your brain to choose clarity over complexity. Vocabulary in context. First draft principle, treating your initial spoken attempt as a starting point, not a final product. Mental bandwidth, the cognitive space available for thinking, listening, and responding approximation, using simpler or slightly different words to keep communication moving. Self-correction balance, knowing when to fix mistakes and when to let them pass. Repeat after me. First draft principle. Mental bandwidth. Approximation. Self-correction balance. Your goal is not error-free English. Your goal is uninterrupted communication. Grammar note, hedging and softening language. Notice how I use phrases like, I think, maybe. Let me explain it another way. These are hedges and softeners. They reduce pressure. They make you sound thoughtful, not rigid. In B1, B2 speaking, softening language is more valuable than complex grammar. It keeps conversations open. Repeat after me. I'd say it's probably a good idea. Maybe we could try it differently. Let me put it this way. Excellent. You are building conversational safety nets. Practical tools to embrace good enough. A mindset shift needs structure. You cannot simply stop being perfect overnight. You must replace the habit with practical behaviors. I developed 3 tools that train your brain to prioritize clarity over correction. Tool 1. The 80-20 speaking rule. In any conversation, aim for 80% forward motion, 20% gentle correction. This means keep speaking for 4 sentences before you pause to fix one small error. Do not stop after every mistake. Let the conversation breathe. If you say, I go to market yesterday, do not freeze. Continue, I bought some fruit. It was very fresh. I think I will go again tomorrow. The error is visible. The message is clear. The flow continues. Later, you can note the correction. But during speaking, movement matters more than precision. Tool 2. The ugly draft. Method. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Choose a simple topic. Speak out loud. Do not stop. Do not restart. Do not self-edit. Even if you repeat words, even if you use the wrong tense, finish the 2 minutes. Record it if possible. Listen back once. Notice where you hesitated. Write one improvement. Close the notebook. This trains your mouth to move independently of your inner critic. Fluency lives in momentum. Tool 3. Strategic self-correction. Not all mistakes need fixing. Some block understanding, some do not. Learn to prioritize. Fix immediately. Wrong subject-verb agreement that changes meaning. He go, he goes. Missing key nouns, confusing time markers. Let pass for now. Article errors, preposition variations, minor word choice, pronunciation slips that don't confuse. Why? Because your brain can only track so much. If you correct everything, you exhaust yourself. If you correct what matters, you protect clarity. Speaking practice, forward motion, drill. Pause the video. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Speak on this topic. One thing I did this week that surprised me. Rule. Do not stop. Do not restart. If you make a mistake, keep going. Use a bridge phrase if needed. Actually, let me continue. Finish the minute. Breathe. Good. You just proved something powerful. You can communicate imperfectly and still be understood. That is fluency training. Vocabulary in context. Forward motion, keeping the conversation moving without stopping for every error inner critic. The mental voice that judges your mistakes and causes hesitation. Strategic correction, fixing only the errors that block understanding momentum. The natural flow that builds when you keep speaking. Repeat after me. Forward motion. Inner critic. Strategic correction. Momentum. You are training your mouth to lead your mind, not follow it. Grammar focus, contrast, and preference structures. Notice how I compare priorities. Rather than correcting every word, I focus on keeping the flow. Instead of waiting for perfection, I choose clarity. I would rather speak imperfectly than stay completely silent. These structures show advanced decision-making in English. They are natural in B1, B2 discussion. Repeat after me. Rather than overthinking, I just start speaking. Instead of avoiding mistakes, I learn from them. I would rather practice daily than study perfectly once a week. Perfect! You're practicing nuanced expression in real time. The daily good enough framework. Mindset becomes habit through routine. Here is your daily good enough framework. It takes 20 minutes. It trains clarity, flow, and gentle self-awareness. Follow it consistently. You will feel the shift. Phase 1. 10 minutes of ugly speaking. Set a timer. Choose a simple topic. Speak out loud. Do not stop. Do not edit. Use bridge phrases when you hesitate. Allow repetition. Allow approximation. Finish the 10 minutes. This is not a test. It is training. You are building speaking stamina, not grammatical precision. Phase 2. 5 minutes of gentle review. Open your notes. Write one sentence you said well. Write one phrase you want to improve. Say the improved version 3 times out loud. Do not list 10 mistakes. Do not compare yourself to others. Track only what serves progress. Close the notebook. This is maintenance, not judgment. Phase 3. 5 minutes of chunk integration. Choose 3 functional chunks. Practice them in your daily narration. Example: to be honest, I'm still figuring it out. That makes sense, but let me check. Actually, I'd suggest we try. Use them in your thoughts, let them become your default responses. Chunks reduce hesitation. They replace perfectionism with flow. Total time, 20 minutes. Daily, balanced, sustainable. This system trains communication, not correction. It builds steady speaking from the inside out. Daily template practice. Pause the video. Fill this template out loud. Today, I spoke about. One thing I did well was. One chunk I will use tomorrow is. Say it twice. Clear. Confident. Yours. Grammar focus. Modals for self-compassion and progress. Notice how I frame guidance. You should focus on clarity, not perfection. You can allow yourself to make mistakes. You must protect your speaking momentum. Modals express recommendation, permission, and gentle necessity. They are perfect for self-directed practice. Repeat after me. I should practice without fear. I can speak imperfectly and still improve. I must keep moving forward. Excellent. You are building self-regulation in English. Your 14-day good enough challenge. You do not need perfect English to connect. You do not need flawless grammar to be heard. You need courage. You need clarity. You need the willingness to speak before you feel ready. Perfectionism promised you safety. It gave you silence. Good enough offers you something better. Real communication, real practice, real progress. I used to wait for the perfect sentence. Now I celebrate the first draft. I used to delete my recordings. Now I keep them as proof of growth. I used to fear mistakes. Now I see them as stepping stones. You can do the same. It does not require a new course. It does not require perfect conditions. It requires one decision: to speak before you feel ready, to communicate before you feel polished, to trust that clarity compounds. I invite you to a 14-day challenge. 20 minutes daily. Follow the good enough framework. Track your days. Notice the hesitation shrink. Notice the flow increase. Notice English become a conversation, not a test. When you are ready, comment below. Day 1. I choose clarity over perfection. I speak, I learn, I grow. I will read every comment. I will reply to your progress. This channel is not a stage for flawless speakers. It is a workshop for real learners. And you belong here. Subscribe to English Compass for more honest stories, graded listening practice, and step-by-step fluency systems. Turn on notifications. Your next breakthrough is not in a perfect sentence. It is in your next spoken attempt. Before you go, take a slow breath. Repeat this final line with me. I do not wait for perfect English. I create clear English. I speak, I adjust, I continue. Progress is my goal. See you tomorrow. Keep showing up. Keep speaking. The path is yours.